Hello everyone, this is Shiju Philippos and I will be the presenter for you today. Today we will be discussing about how to control scope, schedule and cost during that the project controlling phase, project monitoring and control phase. Okay. Now to controlling scope, let us first discuss about how to control scope. We will be discussing about what will be the outputs or what will be the inputs used for scope control first, and then we will discuss about the tools and techniques for it, and then we will talk about what is the outputs which is expected out of this scope control process. Now, if you can see, we can just see the table, we can very easily understand, it's given in this format, we easily understand it. Now, the inputs used for a control scope will be your project management plan, your foremost document which has been prepared during that planning phase. Now, project management plan means you have the scope management plan where the scope is clearly defined, and then you have requirements management plan where you have all the requirements required for the project clearly documented. Then you have change management plan, how to handle the changes and all those details, that document will be there. The configuration management plan, how the configurations are supposed to be carried out, the configuration management plan will be there. The scope baseline, what is the baseline for the scope? Okay, so that details, that document will be there. And performance measurement baseline, what is the baseline for performing measures? So all these documents will be included in your project management plan. So that will be your first and foremost input for the control scope process. Then you have the project documents. You have different project documents that will also will be used as an input. Now the first one is the lessons learned register. Okay. Now the lesson learned register is a very important tool which saves as a, or which caters as a platform or a document for the project manager to get high expertise. Okay, because in the lessons learned register there will be informations or there will be learnings which were taken from earlier projects, and the learnings regarding the current project which has happened till then, and learnings regarding similar projects which might be happening. So this lesson learned register in document will also will be also used as the input for scope control process. Then you have requirement documentations again. All the requirement documents is earlier we had the plans for all those things in the project management plan. Now we are talking about the documents. Okay. Now we have lessons learned register as the first document, and then we have requirement documentation as second, and the requirement traceability metrics as the next input. That is how the requirements of a specific task is traced from the initial starting point till the end point. So all these things will be there. Then the work performance data, how the work performance is being done. So all the data pertaining to that will serve as another input. Organizational process assets. What are the policies? What are the procedures? And what are the internal policies regarding certain process? So all those things will be included in the organizational process assets. So as an input for the control scope process, you will have the project management plans, that is all the different plans which is coming under project management plan, and then you have the project documents which include the lessons registers, lesson learned registers, and your requirement documents, and then requirement traceability metrics, and then you have work performance data, and then you have the organizational process assets. So these will be the inputs for a control scope process. Now, what may be the tools used for it? Tools will be mainly we use data analysis for your control scope process. In case of data analysis, we have variance analysis, and then you have trend analysis. Variance analysis, as we know, we have different variance for schedule variance. We have different methods in which analytical or mathematical models in which we find out variance, and then we have a critical or when we have schedule performance indexes data and all those things. Okay, so with the help of all these data, mainly the schedule variance data, we calculate or we use the variance analysis method, and then we have the trend analysis which is again a mathematical model with the help of the data from historical data or data from similar projects, we try to do a trend analysis. It's a mathematical model. So these are the two tools which is used for scope process. That is, it's mainly the data analysis methods, which the main ones we use are variance analysis and trend analysis. Now, what may be the outputs on the basis of, after we have the inputs and then we have the tools and techniques, what may be the outputs that we received in case of control scope process. Okay. Now, the first and the foremost output is the work performance informations. Okay. We have work performance information details regarding what exactly is happening regarding the project till date whenever you are carrying out this process. Now, you have details regarding change request. Okay. Now, we have all the project management plans in case of as inputs. So whatever after do your control scope process, you might see lot of changes as per the change requests and everything. There might be a lot of changes which has happened. So all those things will be updated in the project management plan. You will have scope management plan updates. You have scope baseline update sometimes, and you might have schedule baseline update sometimes. You have cost baseline update, and then you have performance measurements baseline. All those things will be the output. Then you have project document updates. You have the lesson register document update. You have requirements documentation update, and then you have the requirement traceability metrics updates. So in a nutshell, your control scope process uses all the project management plans and the project documents and the work performance data and organizational process assets as the inputs. Then you have the trend analysis or variance analysis to do to measure or do the process, the tool which is used for to do the process, and we get as an output the work performance informations and updates regarding all the project management plan, and you have the project document updates too. Okay, now let us go to how your schedule process is carried out. Now we have discussed about the scope process. Now let us discuss about the schedule process. Okay. Now in case of schedule process, again the inputs are going to be the project management plan, as in the earlier case too. We have the project schedule which will be there as a second input. The project schedule document will be there, and then we have work performance data, and then you have project calendars. Since we are measuring schedule here, any document pertaining to the project date and time of required for a specific task and everything is required. So you have the work performance data, you have project calendars, scheduling data, and then you have the organizational process assets data. Okay, so the inputs will be the project management plan as earlier, and then you have project schedule, then you have work performance data, then you have project calendars, then you have schedule data, and then you have organizational process assets. So these are mainly the inputs. Now what may be the tools and techniques used? The tools can be performance reviews. That is one major tool which is used. It can be on basis of any methods which will be used, but performance reviews is one major tool. Then you have project management softwares. Okay, you have project management softwares which can be used. Then you have resource optimization techniques. There are a lot of resource optimization techniques. In a network, it can be crashing or it can be leveling. So there are different methods. So resource optimization techniques. Then you have modeling techniques. Then you have leads and lags in a project, calculation of leads and lags. Then you have schedule compression. Then you have scheduling tools. So these are all the tools. There are a lot of tools and techniques which are used for controlling schedule, including which may use your CPM, critical path method, or your program evaluation review technique. All this, there are a lot of methods, including the performance reviews. And then you have, it can be a software, project management software. Then you have resource optimization techniques, including levelings and the crashings, or it can be any resource optimizations, it can be any techniques. And then you have modeling techniques, you have leads and lags determination techniques for a project, and then you have schedule compression, and then you have the scheduling tool. Okay. Now, what may be the output of these techniques? Output as for a control schedule will be the work performance information, where the schedule details will also be there, the schedule forecast, okay, on the basis of the data that we receive as per the tools and tools we use, we can make schedule forecast regarding the remaining part of the project. We have change request again, and you have project management plan updates, and then you have project documents update, and then organizational process assets update. So in a nutshell, your control schedule will have inputs as the project management plan, you have your project schedule, you have your project calendars, you have your work performance data, you have schedule data, and you have your organizational process assets. Now, the tools may be the tool performance reviews or project management softwares. It can be resource optimization techniques, and it can be schedule compression or scheduling tools. And outputs are going to be your work performance information, you have your schedule forecasts, and you have your change requests, you have all the changes in the project management plan, that is updates. Then you have the project documents update, that is your lessons learned registers and your all similar things updates. And then you have your organizational process assets updates. Okay. Now, let us go to how you control a cost. Okay. Now, again, for a costing process, the inputs will be the project management plan. In project management plan, specifically the cost management plan, the cost baseline, and performance measurement baseline. So these are the basic or the most important three parts of the project management plan, which serves as an input for your controlling cost. That is your cost management plan. First is the cost management plan, then you have your cost baseline, and then you have performance measurement baseline. Then again, you have your project documents, which is your lessons learned register, which is going to be another tool, another input, and then you have your work performance data and organizational process assets. So this will be your inputs. Now, what will be your tools and techniques? Can be expert judgment, a discussion with the experts or the peers in the same field who has years of experience regard expertise in the field. Data analysis. Data analysis can be earned value analysis, that is your comparison between your actual cost, your plan value, and your schedule value. So a data between all those things, between earned value and plan value and actual cost, that's earned value analysis. So earned value analysis can be a technique. Variance analysis, how the variance from the actual cost and the expected cost or the budgeted cost. Okay, so this can be a variance analysis. Trend analysis, using historical data and data from the similar project, can be again a mathematical model. It can be a trend analysis. Reserve analysis, you have management reserves and contingency costings and all those things. So on the basis of that, we do a reserve analysis. So that can be another tool. To complete performance index. Okay, so again, it is a performance index which uses the current status of the project and what is the percentage required to be completed. There is a performance measurement index, and that can be another tool. You have again your project management information system. Okay, you run a data into the project management information system, so it can be another tool. So what may be the outputs regarding your controlling cost process? It can be work performance information, it can be cost forecast regarding the remaining project of the project, it can be change request, and then it will be project management plan updates, that is updates in cost management plan, updates in cost baseline, updates in performance measurement baseline, and then project documents updates, that is your assumption log updates, basis estimates updates, then you have cost estimates updates, you have lesson learned register updates, and risk register updates. So risk register, because you might identify some of the risks in the whole process, so that has to be updated too. So to consolidate, your control cost process will have inputs as the project management plan, which is your cost management plan, cost baseline, and then performance measurement baseline. Then you have project documents, which includes the lessons learned register. Then you have project funding requirements, that is another major input. Then you have your work performance data and the organizational process data or organizational process assets. Tools and requirements, tools and techniques which is used is expert judgment, data analysis, that is earned value analysis, trend analysis, variance analysis, reserve analysis, and to complete performance index and project management information system. Now your outputs are going to be work performance information, cost forecast, change request, and then project management plan updates, that includes the cost management plan updates, cost baseline updates, performance measurements updates, and then you have project documents updates, that is your assumption log, your basis of estimates, cost of estimates, lessons learned register, and your risk register updates. So this is all about your controlling your cost, schedule, and scope. Thank you.